Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video of mine where I am going to be comparing America versus the UK. So if you guys have just come across my channel or just stumbled upon this video, hello, my name is Anika. I am an American that is currently living in London. I have lived abroad for the last 9 years, but I spent the last 5 years exclusively in London. So I do have a pretty good experience and understanding of the differences between American life and British or London life. And I have done quite a few other videos where I have showcased what it's like to be an American in London, the differences of being an American here in the UK, and just some of the different things you can experience if you do live abroad and you are an American living abroad. And I thought today would be really fun to do a different video on an American's take of a certain holiday here in the UK. And when this video goes live, it is nearly Halloween, and I thought it would be really fun to share my experience of as an American living in London and what it's like to celebrate Halloween here in the UK with British customs and standards versus what Halloween is like in the US. If you guys are interested in videos where I talk about the differences of American life versus British life, please do make sure to subscribe and stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to be talking about 5 different ways that Halloween is different here in the UK versus in America. And I know that this year is going to be different than any other year that we've experienced, but I thought it would be fun for us to just talk about some of the differences of Halloween in a normal year, in a year when we're allowed to go out and socialize and be around everyone that we love and care about. So I thought it would be cool for us to talk about a little bit of what Halloween traditions are like in the UK versus in America. As you can see, I have my cat ears on, and I actually got these at Poundland. And if you haven't already checked out my Poundland haul, there are so many cute little costume ideas and cheap ways that you can dress up for Halloween. So I'll make sure to link it up in the cards right now for you to check out and also down in the description. And if you are interested in other videos where I talk about my American perspective of living here in the UK and like some of the different words that we use here in the UK versus American English, or just how I actually moved to London as an American, please do make sure to check out the playlist that I link in the cards right now, and also I'll make sure to link all those videos down in the description. So before we jump into the 5 different ways that Halloween is different here in the UK than it is in the US, please give me a thumbs up for my cat ears that I put on. I think that this is the most effort that I'm going to be putting into Halloween this year just because of social distancing and the global pandemic. I just don't see myself going out to a Halloween party or socializing this year, so this is my costume. Give me a thumbs up for making an effort, and also leave me a comment down below letting me know if you guys are celebrating Halloween this year and what kind of costume are you going to be making or buying and dressing up as. Leave me a comment down below. So guys, let's jump into those 5 ways that American Halloween is different from the Halloween that is celebrated here in the UK. So the first way that Halloween is different here in the UK versus in the US is the US costumes tend not to be scary. US people or American people tend to dress up for Halloween in either a cute way or a little bit, let's say, scandalous or inappropriate way. Versus here in the UK, most people see Halloween as scary or gory or like a thriller or a scary movie or something like that. So they usually dress up as something scary or bloody or something like that. Versus in the US, most people tend to dress up in, let's say, a little bit more scandalous. I definitely know when I was growing up and throughout college and stuff, most women would dress up as like a naughty nurse or, a police officer, but in really short shorts or something like that. So I think that the US concept of costumes is way different than the UK version. In the US, mostly people tend to dress up in a more scandalous way, or they take some sort of real life character, whether it be a police officer, a firefighter, or a real career choice like a doctor, and then they'll usually make that more scandalous. Versus here in the UK, they'll take a police officer or a doctor or anything like that, and they'll make it scary, or they'll make it like a zombie or dead or something like that. So that's definitely one way that the US and the UK differ, is that they have totally different ways of looking at costumes and how scary or how scandalous they are. Personally, growing up in America, I would prefer the scandalous versus the scary, but I know that here in the UK, not a lot of people dress up for Halloween anyways in the first place, so I think it's kind of cool that they do like the whole scary thriller route for costumes here. So the second way that the Brits are totally different with Halloween than Americans is that the Brits don't go as crazy with Halloween directions as Americans do. So a perfect example of this is actually, I remember when I was growing up as a kid and all my neighbors and actually all my friends' neighbors as well, when I went trick-or-treating, the houses were decorated from head to toe, go all out with Halloween decorations, meaning that they would put like, you know, ghosts and pumpkins and fake cobwebs. And I remember one time when I was trick-or-treating, this guy or this family actually converted their entire garage into like a scary maze, and like it was just crazy. They go just as crazy for Halloween as people do for Christmas in the US versus here in the UK, but especially in London because most people live in flats, there's not as much decorations for Halloween. And I have to say it's pretty minimal. Sometimes maybe people will carve pumpkins, or they might put some, you know, fake cobwebs or like ghosts or like, you know, witches or things like that hanging outside their front door, but they will not go as crazy as Americans. So the second difference, that Americans are totally way more into the decorations than British people are for Halloween. The third way that Halloween is totally different here in the UK than in the US is that there are different sweets and treats that you get here in the UK for Halloween rather than America. One sweet that I particularly miss that I haven't been able to have for the last 5 years because I haven't been back in the US for Halloween is candy corn. And candy corn is just sugar. It's really just sugar. It's nothing that special, but it is something that you can only get in the US. I haven't been able to find it in UK stores, and I absolutely miss it. And I was one of those weird kids that absolutely loved candy corn, and whenever I went trick-or-treating, no one else liked it. Everybody wanted to get like Snickers or Reese's Pieces cups, but I loved candy corn. I don't know, maybe it was like the sweet sugar, pure sugar taste of it that I loved, but I have to say that the sweets here are totally different than the ones in the US. At least when it comes to like the sugary sour sweets, I think all the chocolate sweets that you do get here in the UK and the chocolate candies, they're kind of the same as what you would get in the US, like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers, that kind of thing. But I have to say some of like the sugary candy things or the sweet ones, they are totally different here in the UK. And I actually haven't totally tried any of the Halloween candies here in the UK. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see me trying out British sweets or British candies, because honestly, I haven't really tried that many. But I do miss candy corn, and I wish I could have candy corn this Halloween, but unfortunately I'm not going to be in the US, so no candy corn for me. So the third difference between the UK and the US is that the sweets and candies that they give out during Halloween or that they sell during Halloween are totally different. The fourth way that the US and the UK are totally different for Halloween is that there aren't as many trick-or-treaters here in the UK or in London that there are in the US. It's just not a cultural thing. I think in the US it's totally normal and kind of seen as just this big event on Halloween on that night, starting, you know, from 4 or 5 p.m. that evening. Kids go out throughout their neighborhood, throughout their friend's neighborhood. Sometimes, depending on how far away you live from other people, your parents might even drive you to different places to go trick-or-treating. But trick-or-treating is kind of a cultural norm. It's normal, or kind of like assumed, I'd say, in the US, that people have candy that they then give out to children on Halloween. And I just don't think that that's the same here. I do think that some people do take their kids trick-or-treating here in the UK, but just not as much as in the US. Here in the UK, for the last 5 years that I've lived here, I have to say that not that many people actually ring my doorbell and say trick-or-treat and expect candy. Actually, it's probably few to none. I don't think kids go out trick-or-treating, and again, because the UK and especially London is built for flats rather than houses, it's just not as common, or you don't go up to people's doors in a flat to say trick-or-treat. You go to houses usually, and again, because that's not the cultural norm here in the UK, I'd say trick-or-treating is a much bigger cultural norm in the US than it is in the UK. And finally, the fifth and final reason how the UK and the US are different is pumpkin spice or pumpkins. I'd have to say the US is obsessed with pumpkins and pumpkin spice. It's actually crazy how much Americans love pumpkin spice during this time of the year. And pumpkins, I'd say it's the lead up to Thanksgiving and it's the lead up to the holiday season that gets Americans really excited around the Halloween time to like carve pumpkins, to have anything pumpkin spice flavored. All of that tends to start around the Halloween time and carries on through Thanksgiving. But it's not the same here in the UK. People aren't as insanely interested in pumpkin spice or even pumpkins here. I have to say, I have seen a few pumpkins in the grocery stores, and I've seen a few people carving them and putting them out onto their front doorstep, but it's not as crazy as in the US. In the US, everything nowadays is flavored with pumpkin spice, or you can expect this time of year to have a pumpkin flavoring, but it's just not the same as here in the UK. People just aren't as interested in pumpkin as they are in the US. So guys, that brings me to the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed another comparison video of what life is like in the US versus in the UK. As you can probably tell from this video, it seems like, in my opinion and in my experience, that the US is way more obsessed, interested, crazy about Halloween than the UK is. And my experience of living abroad is that the Americans do love Halloween way more than Europeans or Brits do. So I'd say that it's probably a bigger holiday and a bigger celebration, let's say, in the US than it is here in the UK. It's still a cool holiday whether you're on that side of the pond or on this side of the pond, but I'd say that the Americans love Halloween way more. So guys, if you made it to this point of the video and you enjoyed my content, please do consider subscribing if you aren't already subscribed to my channel. I upload 2 times a week on Sundays and Wednesdays, and I would love to have you a part of my YouTube fam. So make sure you smash that subscribe button and make sure you turn on the bell notification so you know exactly when my next video is going live. Anyways guys, that brings me to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are going to have a very happy and safe Halloween, and I hope you are having an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!